And here we are at noon on a Wednesday. It's time for another Kuker-Ranken Lunch and Learn. So we're going to start letting everybody in here. For those of you that are watching us from Facebook, thank you very much for joining us. We're looking forward to sharing this particular event with you. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Randy Wahlen, who's coming from Logan, Utah, and he's going to be talking about the LTAP workflows in the field. And alongside him, we've got Ben Goddard. Ben comes out of our our Salt Lake City Kuker-Ranken location. So welcome to you as well, Ben. So Randy and Ben, we're going to just turn it right straight over to the two of you and let you dive in. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you very much,
Doug. I'll share my screen here. And my name's Randy Wahlen. I'm a professional engineer, and I'll talk about my experience in a minute. I'll show my phone number again. We can show that at the end if you have any questions. And my email's there too. And I'm the director up at the Utah LTAP. Now I'm going to explain some of this because it's probably a new concept for a lot of people. But first, I've got 35 years of engineering experience. Now I don't have a nice soft lighting system like Douglas, but it probably shows up that I have 35 years of experience. I worked for the Utah Department of Transportation coming out of school. I worked for a consultant doing roads and traffic. I worked for Sandy City as a drainage manager, and I worked in the concrete pipe industry for a number of years. So with my government experience, I can see a lot of the applications that I talk about with Kuker-Ranken that are really valuable. And so the Utah LTAP, I've been there for about 3 years, and we're just kind of redoing our program and updating it. So there's some new things that we'll talk about in that. LTAP stands for Local Technical Assistance Program. And there are over 51 throughout the United States and Puerto Rico. Every state has one. They're not the same in every state. Some are associated with university programs, like we are here at in Utah with Utah State University. Some, like Arizona, are housed at the DOT. Nevada is actually a consultant that does their program. So it's kind of varied throughout the nation, and every program has its own uniqueness to it. We're really able to do whatever fits our local governments the best. And so our focus is having collaborative partnerships with these local governments to do training. To give you an example, the DOTs may have their own training programs or their own advancement programs, but a lot of these local governments, small cities, rural cities, they don't have a way to train their employees. And so that's where we feel that need a lot. And what we do there is we're able to go out and have, for example, an asphalt class and talk to them about asphalt. And a lot of these people have come up in the industry and they were good doing certain things, and they've become involved and become a supervisor in asphalt maintenance, and they may have no background in that. So we try and give them some formal training. And then lastly here, we do information exchange. They used to call it technology transfer, or these used to be called T-squared centers, but we try and get, if the DOT has things that are going on that they want to get out to the local governments to help them do their jobs more effectively, we work with them that way. The way I met Kuker-Ranken was through one of these information exchanges. We were doing a project for the Federal Highway Administration. They wanted to come in and do a class on drones and their uses. And so Kuker-Ranken was part of that. And since then, we've done some other things with them, and we really appreciate that. We're funded by the FHWA and by UDOT. So it's a matching program, 50% from each. And we've been at Utah State University since 1988. We get a contract that's similar to a grant every 5 years if we have to apply for it. And we have another 3 years running in our contract and hope to just keep going at USU. We're part of the Utah Transportation Center that's up at the university. There's a lot of things they have going on there. They have a huge grant right now to look at charging electrified vehicles just through the roadway, called the Aspire program. They have traffic monitoring where they tie in with UDOT's Traffic Operations Center. So we're training students up there to be able to go out, and I have some influence with the students that we'll talk about. This is kind of our general, we don't have a huge budget or a huge amount of staff. And right now we're actually looking for a safety engineer that would go out and work with local governments on roadway safety. And they'd use a lot of the new technologies. So we have an office manager, a workshop coordinator that helps with our training. And then we have student technicians that go out and do things. And it's interesting. I've encouraged all the students that I have there to get their drone. I'll just say drone because it's easier for me, but they're all getting licensed and learning to fly, because that way when they get out when they graduate, they'll just have that experience, and it really will help them. This is our website, utahltap.org. And Ben and Douglas will give you links to the upcoming class we have that they're going to be teaching for us, but there's other things on there if you want to look at that. We do a lot of traffic control training. Everyone in Utah has to be certified, and we work with a national third party and have trainers that come out and do that to certify and test flaggers, technicians that are setting up barrels in the field, and also supervisors that are designing those traffic control plans. And that's a big safety issue throughout the state, and we try and really get trained people out there. Right now, today, we've got a gentleman that has 44 years of experience with Wheeler Machinery, that is a Caterpillar company. And he is out, he's recently retired, and he is teaching about 11 people on about 7 different pieces of equipment. They'll have a 2-day training, and they have to pass off that they can do certain skills in a backhoe or a track hoe or a dozer. So that's great things that we go out and do. We have a road scholar program. I talked about these great road workers that are out there, and they go through a program where they have to get 5 required classes and then 3 electives to get this. And a lot of cities throughout the state will use this for their advancement. We have that continues. There's also a road master and then a supervisor training that we have them go through. I'll just show you really quick. There's all kinds of classes under the Road Scholar program. It's interesting that we train them in OSHA, we train them in safety, we train them in flagging. As they go on to their master, they'll get into asphalt, interpersonal skills, all those things. And then they have electives always. So if we have a drone class coming up, they can take an elective. I won't talk about the supervisor training, but there are all kinds of different classes that we have going on all the time. One of the things we go and do with the cities, and this is what we do with the students, and this is where we're looking at new technologies currently to be able to photogrammetry or LiDAR or different things, is to keep the roads in good condition. The budget that these cities have is very limited. And so we try and make sure that they know what they're doing. Just to give you an idea, and probably the best thing we teach them is, if you can do things when it's cheap, like a crack seal or a chip seal, you're able to do something. And if you look at the curve we have there, you're able to extend that 20 years of pavement life out by, you get 3 to 5 to 7 years every time you do a preventative maintenance. So you're able to extend that out. If you wait till that gets expensive and you want to remove asphalt and fill it back in, you're spending a lot of money. You get a few more years, but it's just not the most efficient way to do things. So we really try and work with the governments to do more. This is an example of what we've done in GIS for the local governments. We're using aerial photos and ArcGIS, and the students are going out and actually mapping and evaluating all these roads. Now, there are some new tools to do this automated, and we're looking into those.
Randy, when you're going out and you're mapping and using I assume you're using drones to go do photogrammetry, get aerial photos of the roadways, or you mentioned LiDAR as well.
Right. And so we've used the high resolution aerial photos. And there are companies that are doing things with LiDAR and artificial intelligence. And we're looking into whether those fit what we want to do as we go forward.
Okay. Are we seeing any use for some of the mobile mapping technology that's out there, the LiDAR and photogrammetry mounted on trucks that can go out and rapidly collect that roadway?
Yes, they are already using those, and they're looking at other aspects. They're looking at being able to map all the utility vault locations. They're looking at one company's looking at using the LiDAR to check retroreflectivity on the signs. So every sign has to have a retroreflective coating that will reflect up when the headlights at night. They think they can tune the LiDAR in to be able to rate those signs so they don't have to go out and look at them in the dark or have a special gun to do it. So there's some really interesting advancements in this kind of technology. This is just an example. We put a report together that shows them if a road has a 20-year service life, this shows 8.6% of their roads in pretty bad condition. And as we go from red to green, it gets in better conditions. And this is all available to the city on their phone. And so we love working in ArcGIS and being able to give them access to click on a road, look at the road, maybe look at the condition of the road. So we take photos on the ground of everything we're rating so that the city can come back and look at that. Another thing we do is we're out there and doing this mobile data gathering. Right now, we're doing it kind of brute force and we're looking at new applications, but these are sidewalks that we've gone out, and sidewalks have ADA issues. They have obstructions. They have cracks that have folded and raised. So this shows all the mapping we did on these sidewalks. We actually use golf carts right now, which isn't real high tech, and that's not a very high tech golf cart. But we have GIS set up in there. This is a map down there where we mapped their faults or the displacements in sidewalks. And green was 1/2 inch, which is interesting. 1/2 inch is not a very big fault to have to map, but it's what people can be sued over. It's where their liability starts. So they had a lot of greens, some yellows in the 1 inch range. Orange would have been 1.5 inches, and then red 2 inches. If you get a 2 inch fault, that's a pretty big sidewalk problem. So we do a lot of that. They look at obstructions, different things. So then with that, we also do traffic counts. Now, this is where we're looking at new technologies also. So when I started this job 3 years ago, we inherited some of these traffic cameras that are portable, that you can mount up against any kind of pole or anything. And it raises up to 30 feet and it will record pretty low resolution video. This is actually an example of what we did up at Utah State in a test. We actually are making a new camera. The old cameras have pretty low resolution, and some of the AI software that we've been working with won't work at a lower resolution. But what you can see this is doing is it's counting every car, every pedestrian, every bicycle, and you can see that pedestrian number 13 that's walking through there, it actually not only records them and records what type of vehicle they are or pedestrian, but it also follows their path. You would have, if that skateboard going through, you'd see a path. Everything that goes through has a path. And then the students go back in and they put in virtual gates to be able to get actual traffic counts off these videos. It really, the old way was you sat out on the road with a clipboard and you had people just sitting there making tick marks. Well, with this, you're able to really go in and do this. Here's another example. This was from a drone at about 400 feet. The resolution that you can get with the drone was just amazing. You can see there's a car that just parked in the parking lot down in the lower left corner, number 89, and you can see pedestrians 175, 170, and 178 just got out, and it shows their path going into the store. So we would have paths on all these cars, thousands of cars, and we could then look at different safety things through this. The software has abilities to check if there's near misses going on, has the ability to look at different things. One of the things I'd like to start doing more with these kind of technologies is to look at what's going on when we have accidents. This one we caught, and it was unfortunate that this happened during one of our video feeds. But you can see what's going to happen there. And I'm going to go back a little bit and show you again. As we watch this, the resolution, this is the poor resolution. But if you look in the top, along the top, you can see that the light's green because it's on the bottom. It just went yellow. And you'll see right there, it went red, right as that car crossed the pedestrian crossing. There's technologies already out there that will allow us to do that. We could ticket for red light running or for speeding. Right now in Utah, the legislature's opted not to allow that unless a police officer actually is there to give out the ticket. They can't mail them out. We hope that changes because there's so many fatalities and other things going on. If we could get people to slow down, be less distracted through just some better enforcement, I think we could do a lot of things. One of the classes that we've got coming up is this Tim's uncrewed aircraft training. I've been to this already with Kuker-Ranken and Sundance Media Group, and it was a great class. It's a 2-day class that involves not only training and what you would do to be able to map accidents and get all that data, or to be able to go out and map for surveying or so many different aspects, and then some hands-on training the second day. So Ben's going to post in the chat where you could sign up for this. The cost is $200, but that includes a lunch on the first day and 2 days of training. And Kuker-Ranken's had people out flying the equipment and learning as they go. So,
Randy, I'll expand on that a little bit. So traffic incident management as a concept been around for quite a few years. It's been really fine-tuned in the last maybe 10, utilizing sources from federal, state, local, county governments, even civilians coming in and giving their input into what they want to see on the roadways for as far as safety is concerned. Randy mentioned quick clearance of accidents. How that helps us as kind of the general public and where our input comes in is the quicker accidents can get cleared on the roadways, the quicker A, we get to our destinations, and then B, the quicker that or the reduced chance we have of being involved in a secondary crash. We encourage all departments, any roadway user really to attend this course. Going to have a lot of valuable information on utilizing drones, not just for accident clearance, but for data collection in general, how to best utilize drones during the daytime, during the nighttime, the things that are required in those instances. But if anybody is going to be working on, in, or near a roadway, I don't care if it's just the road out in front of your house, a highway, or even, heaven forbid, we've got surveyors that have to get out on the freeway systems. And it really teaches you how to protect yourself while you're out on those roadways, to prevent accidents from happening. And then just a glimpse into what to do if you happen to be a part of or witness one of these incidents on the roadways. So really a good class that's been put together. And as Randy said, it's pretty much in the classroom the first day, and then the second day is a lot of outdoors, flying drones, getting your hands on some of the LiDAR and laser measurement equipment, RTC 360s from Leica, for example, one of our high definition scan systems that we use. But a great time and a great place to come and learn some safety related items, but also get your hands on a lot of the equipment.
Ben, do you want me to take a second on our culvert research?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to share this again since I stopped sharing here. And does that look right?
That's it.
There we go. So this is actually a project that UDOT has us doing research on. They want to see if there's a way in the future to automate culvert inspection, to be able to send a camera or LiDAR through to be able to gather the data and evaluate the data on the fly and rank their culverts according to the risk and what needs maintenance. This is the first day that we were out there. We actually did this with several different groups. Kuker-Ranken was good to bring in the BOK to go, RTC 360, and do some comparables for us. This group out of Oregon State, they were looking at what I would call pseudo LiDAR or iPhone LiDAR for what they could do on different construction inspections. And so we were checking the accuracy with the RTC 360 versus the iPhone in this case. Here we were shooting in a concrete pipe, our control, getting some, they were actually using the iPhone here to get these. This is one of the videos of a corrugated metal culvert that's pretty beat up, that had a log in it and some other things, and looked like that from the side. This was just iPhone stitched together photogrammetric LiDAR. Not as accurate as what we'll get back here soon with the BOK to go. But we're looking at all those things and what UDOT should do in the future so that they could send a remote crawler through instead of having to have people go in and look at these things. And that's just some of the research we've been doing and getting the students involved in different groups. And we really appreciate Kuker-Ranken helping us with this. Ben, did you want to add anything to that?
No, just to say that, it's been our pleasure to kind of have a joint venture, taught us a lot about our systems and what they're capable of doing. And we're more than happy to help people look at their individual projects and come up with solutions utilizing some of the most state-of-the-art equipment out there to come up with these final products. So been a great and valuable learning experience all around, I believe.
So I think that's all that I've got. I think I'm on time, so I don't take too much time. But if there's any questions or if Douglas or Ben wants to add anything, please.
I haven't seen any questions come in yet, Randy, but I do want to say that the Kuker-Ranken team is really thrilled to be partnered with your organization, with the LTAP people, and building out some training programs for some of these groups. It's very exciting, and if our December event is anywhere near as successful as the last event that we put together with you, we're very, very excited. And for anybody who's on this call, we're happy to have you join us in December at our next event that we're going to be doing with the LTAP program up there at USU. And then, if you see any questions come through?
And I think, Douglas, just to add to that, I think we were really impressed with Kuker-Ranken, but I think Kuker-Ranken was also really impressed with the group of people that are out there trying to deal with. We had people from national parks. We had people trying to figure out how to get the data so they could do their designs better and manage their systems. So we really appreciate it.
It was a fantastic experience that we had before. We had people from, multi-state people. We had people from Wyoming and from Idaho and from Arizona and New Mexico and of course Nevada. So and it was all held there in Utah. It was, I think, a very successful event. So we'll look forward to the next one we have going on with you. Well, folks, while we're getting ready to wind up here real quick, I'll share our future upcoming Lunch and Learns with you here. So this is our Lunch and Learn series. You can access this on Eventbrite, and the link is up there. It can also be shared in your chat box. So next week, we're very excited to get part 3 of the Leica Captivate series with Jeremy Kippen, where we're going to be going through. We have the Leica Captivate firmware updates coming with Jeremy Kippen. Hydrographic survey with seafloor coming in on October 25th. And then on November 1st, we'll be hearing from Brady. We've got the Inspired Flight Tomcat system that's going to be coming in. And then after that, I'll share up our next screen here. If you'd like to see some of our past Lunch and Learns, you can get into our past Lunch and Learns here with, we've got all of the Lunch and Learns that are set up online for everyone here. And this will get you all the way through going back a couple of years. So there's a lot of Leica and drone and workflow with underground location equipment, seafloor equipment, LiDAR. Some of our most popular ones are Geodesy 101 and LiDAR 101. These are basic introductory courses, so we'd love to have you in and participating in some of those or see what's there. If you've got ideas for Lunch and Learns, please reach out to us at the email addresses that are below. We're always happy to hear your ideas for the various Lunch and Learns. And I think that brings us to the end of this particular Wednesday's Lunch and Learn. We're just a couple minutes over. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. This will be available online by Friday of this week. So we'll be able to share it with you again. Folks, thanks for taking the time and joining us today. Randy, Ben, thank you very much for hosting. We're thrilled to have you, and we'll see you all next week. Bye for now.
Yeah.